Do you feel like there needs to be an undisputed champion?
There always needs to be an undisputed champion. Can it happen? I don't think so. Because there's so much money now. Now that you got the streaming service with ESPN, DAZN, all of them are trying to get a piece of the pie. And for them, it's like, DAZN would only have an undisputed belt if it meant either the money would have to be ridiculous, like an insane gate money, or they would have to have all 4 fighters, like an IBF, all of them would have to be under DAZN. So that's why I don't think it's going to happen, because Top Rank is still has a foothold on the U.S. market and a lot of U.S. fighters. People come to the U.S. to train, to get those big ticket fights. So I don't. There needs to be an undisputed champion. I just don't. I think as more money starts getting involved in the sport, I mean, it's great for the sport that there's so much money involved because fighters are finally getting paid. But I don't think it's going to happen because you have so many different bodies trying to get a hand in the pot, and it's frustrating because you see a lot of talented fighters that are just, that don't get that title shot because a promotion company is trying to get their boy up.
Do you feel like a lot of fans aren't fully aware of how much the business affects the fights that they want to see?
Oh, yeah. Because, so biggest example is, the average boxing fan doesn't really know how much the business side of it. Because you could have oftentimes, and I don't know disrespect to any champions, but oftentimes, does anyone act like if you really know boxing, most people don't feel like the champion of a certain division is really the champion. Everyone always has that asterisk. Okay, but we need to see this fight for this person. Okay, but we need to see this fight. And there's a lot. It's almost comical how corrupt the sport as a whole is because you have 4 different sanctioning bodies. And when I have to explain this to other people, it's like, oh, well, he's the champion here, but how come you have another heavyweight champion here? Well, they both got to get paid. Well, okay, are they ever going to fight? Not in this lifetime. Maybe when they're both old and like 45, and everyone saw it with the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. That's the one that everyone kind of knows. Both of them. Now you can make an argument they both didn't fight out of their primes, but it was a crappy fight. And you're going to see a lot of the only time you're going to see 2 great fighters, there's no money in it. Because think about it, if you have, let's say you have a heavyweight champion, like for instance, Ruiz and Fury, how long do you think it's going to take them to fight?
I don't see them ever fighting.
I don't see them ever fighting either. You know why? Because there's 3 people he's got to fight. Well, no, Tyson Fury will try to make that fight, but DAZN, they got their golden boy. They're not going to put him in a fight with Tyson Fury, especially after what he just did to Deontay Wilder. They're not going to put him in that yet.
Well, you gotta remember. I know Andy had a fight option with DAZN, but now I think he's back with Al Heyman and PBC.
Oh, he is? He's still on the PBC?
Yeah. He once he won that fight, they had an option on him, I think a 2-3 fight option.
Okay.
To where as though they could promote his fights. He's still with Al Heyman, but DAZN would have the rights to him, but I think that they let Al Heyman have him after the loss.
Right. And you know what, honestly, it's because there isn't, this might sound a little crazy, but there isn't a global sanctioning body. When you get through the Olympics and the amateurs, whoever is the Olympic gold medalist, there is no question in anybody's mind, unless you had a ridiculous amateur, it used to be that everyone wants to fight in the Olympics, right? So the peak of amateur fighting is becoming an Olympic gold medalist for your weight class. And that is basically undisputed amateur equivalent. But you won't have that because there is no national sanctioning body. And
it's not, unlike UFC. UFC is one champ.
Well, yeah, because
everybody knows who the champion. Yeah.
The UFC is a promotion company, but that's also why they can pay their fighters so little. It was funny because Conor McGregor was coming up saying, "Oh, I'm the money man." He didn't make close to their dudes like Ruiz made more than I think Conor McGregor made $50 million fighting. He made 50, right?
What, Floyd?
Yeah, fighting Floyd. 50 or he made 100.
Guaranteed 30, yo.
Ruiz made 80. Made 80 for the rematch against Joshua. Now it's a big ticket, the battle of the dudes, but that's what I'm saying. There are boxers that are already making that can make that. So, and a lot of, and Conor McGregor had to come to boxing to get his payday. Because when he beat Jose Aldo, he only made $2 million for that fight. And he was hyped because he got a $50,000 bonus for the knockout. You got boxers there's more money in boxing.
I don't think Ruiz made it. I think Joshua made it.
Oh, Joshua
made it. Like, yeah, it was something crazy.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it was like.
So with the UFC, I mean, they got Bellator, but there's no real competition in the UFC.
No.
I mean, everyone recognizes the UFC champion as their champion.
You know what cracks me up though?
What?
Is that everybody, like you have DC, PBC contractors, right? Oh, PBC, they only want to make in-house fights, this and that. But those same people love UFC. UFC is the same exact thing as PBC.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy to me that no one has caught on to this.
No.
Like, and fighters really like. I respect UFC fighters, but they really don't. They're getting. If you want to talk about people getting robbed for money, they're getting robbed because you got UFC dudes that are broke. The dudes like Tony Cowboy Cerrone, he's fought in the UFC for I don't know how long. He as many championships fights he's had, as many people love watching this dude. The amount of money that he makes is not dependent on the fighter. So they'll sign them for these 5-fight deals, right? All right, you got to fight this dude. You're fighting Conor McGregor for your comeback. You think, oh my God, I should have sent him to the gate, but they're not. Their bonuses are like if you get like the knockout of the fight or the fight of the night. That's when you make money, but they don't really structure their contracts. I mean, Dana White's is basically like either you can take what I pay you, or you can go fight at Bellator and see how much money you make there.
See, but competition, like you said, competition in boxing made it where as though everybody has to get paid. Yep. Because, Bob can't say that because, okay, I'll go to Al. Okay, I'll go to Eddie. Right. Okay, Eddie, I'll go to Oscar. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So the UFC is definitely promoter-oriented, and by promoter, Dana White is getting the money. But boxing is definitely, I mean, there's fighters who still get robbed. It's still a tough life, and it takes a while before people get paydays. But it's not as hard as people think. I mean, you got to be able to promote yourself too. You got to have something like there's more than the talent alone. I mean, a boxer with 80% talent, 20% character is not marketable. I mean, you ever see those dudes in the gym? They got all the talent in the world, but they fight as fuck. People like loudmouths, the big brash dudes that they look at and be like, "Yo, that's the heavyweight champion." Right there. You know what I mean? That's why people like Tyson Fury, because he's got so much personality and he does crazy shit. Like the stuff he did with the WWE. That was brilliant because that's how he built his American audience. All those crazy rednecks that never watch boxing, he has his own fan base now. Yeah,
the WWE thing was brilliant.
It was genius, and he found a way to get an American fan base. And I think that the first fight with Wilder was supposed to be Wilder's coming out to America, kind of like this is our champion and whatnot. And I think everyone liked Wilder before. But when Tyson Fury, that rematch was going in, and he started doing the WWE thing, like I'm a fan of Tyson Fury. I like him as an American, which is unheard of. Like you remember back in like the 80s, you had Mike Tyson. Every American was a Mike Tyson fan. Nobody liked Lennox Lewis. Nobody was rooting for him. Before that, Ali, everyone's always got behind the U.S. heavyweight champion.
The thing is with Fury and Wilder is Fury is like an American.
Yeah.
Whereas though he talks.
Yeah.
So Americans, and especially, let's keep it 100, Fury's white.
Yeah.
So that helps in America too.
Everyone likes that edge. Everyone likes that edge when Tyson Fury talks, oh, I just had a beer before I go sparring and stuff like that.
Where a lot of UK fighters are real dumb.
Like Joshua, but Joshua's got all of them handle. His handlers do a pretty good job of marketing him. But like Wilder, right? He tries, right before when he's promoting a fight, he tries to be that tough guy. I mean, his right hand kind of allows him to talk a lot of trash, but I mean, a lot of people that have interviewed Wilder, he's actually a pretty nice guy.
Wilder's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Who
hits hard.
Who's a big puncher that wants to project that mean.
Like when he was talking about Dominic Brazil, he was like, I'm gonna kill him. No one actually, but everyone's like, really, dude? Come on. No one actually believed it. I know they hyped up that blood.
He almost
he almost did kill him. I'm not gonna lie.
He almost.
But no one actually believed that he wanted him to kill him. Right? You know what I mean? But Tyson Fury, when he said he wanted to lick the blood off of Deontay Wilder and did it,
he didn't lick it. He licked his tongue out.
But the fact that he had the wherewithal in the fight to sit there and look at the camera and do
shit was comfortable. He was winning the fight.
That's what I'm saying. But that type of stuff, people like that outlandish. It's crazy. You can get your chin knocked off doing that. You definitely shouldn't. You definitely should be a student first before you're a loudmouth. But I mean, people like what sells. Your mouth can get you a lot more money than your hands.
True.